Hello Year 4, it's Mrs Dunn here with your maths lesson for today. It's the 20th of January. To start us off today, I've got an online game called Multiplication Minor for us to play, and it's a game that helps you to practice your times tables. There's a link to take you straight to the game in the Teams folder, but I'm going to show you what the game is like and how to play it. So you will select either the 2s, 3s, 4s, 6s or 8 times table, and you can have a go at a couple of them if you want to, and you're going to choose either timed or untimed. So let me show you where the game will take you. So when you click on the link in the Teams folder, hopefully it will take you to this screen here. We click play game and play. Then we need to select which times table we're going to practice. I'm going to choose the 6 times table, and either timed if you want the time pressure, or untimed if you need a little bit more thinking time. Could start off with untimed and then try again with timed. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to go untimed so that I've got a chance to show you what to do. So on the screen then you come up with a multiplication grid that is empty, and here we've got some orange squares and some orange squares here. These are the boxes that our answers will be behind. Each of these numbers will be in the 6 times table, and then the game gives you a number to find. So it's asking me to find 30. So I need to think about what I multiply by 6 to get to 30, and then I have to track those numbers to click on the answer. So I know that 5 times 6 is 30, so I'm going to go across to number 5 and down to the 6th row and click. And I got that right, so I got some joules. Now I've got to find 30 again, so instead of saying 5 times 6, I could say 6 times 5. So I'm going to go across to 6 and down to 5 and click. And I got that right as well, so I've got some more joules. Now it wants me to find 72. So I'm thinking about what are times by 6 to get to 72. And I know that 6 times 12 is 72. So 6 times 12 is 72. Now it wants me to find 66. Oh, I think that 10 times 6 is 66. So I'll go across to my 10, down to my 6, and I think this is 66. Oh, I got that one wrong. Actually, 10 times 6 is 60, but it's giving me another chance. So don't panic if you get one wrong, because it does let you have another go. So 11 times 6, let's try that one. And I got that one right, and there it's given me some more points. So I'd like you to pause the video, follow the link and have a go at that game for me please, and then come back to me when you've finished. Okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to play that game. Today we are going to be rounding 3-digit numbers to the nearest 100. Can you write the short date and your learning objective please? And underline your short date, remember. Pause the video and do that for me now. Okay, so you should have a date that's underlined and then your learning objective. Yesterday we were rounding 3-digit numbers to the nearest 10, so it's really similar today, but we're going to be looking at a different digit and we're going to be rounding to the nearest 100. We've got some vocab lab here which is really similar to yesterday. Multiple, we're thinking about multiples of 100 today. We're still rounding up and rounding down, and it's going to be the tens number that we look at today, the tens digit. Let's have a look at one. So we've got on the screen 327. My keys to success here tell me that I've got to look at the tens digit. That's the first thing that's different today. I'm looking at the tens digit. So in my number here, my tens digit is the 2, 327. So if my tens digit is a 1, 2, 3 or 4, I round down to the multiple of 100 in the number you are thinking about. So the number I'm thinking about is 327. So my 327 will round down to 300. So exactly the same rules as yesterday. Okay, we're just looking at a different digit. Let me show you that on a number line. So if you need the scaffold today, I've uploaded some of those frames like I did for yesterday. So let's have a look at the number line. So the multiple of 100 that is in my number is 300. And the next multiple of 100 is going to be 400. So if I was counting in hundreds, after 300, I say 400. Halfway is going to be 350. And then I can decide where my number is that I'm thinking about. And I think that 327 is going to be about there. It's less than 350, so it goes on this side, and I can see that it's closer to 300 than it is to 400. So 327 rounds to 300. So I've just proved that using my number line. Okay, let's have a look at another one. 582. I'm going to show you how to do it on the number line and also how to do it following just our rules. So 582, the 100 is 500, and the next multiple of 100 would be 600. Halfway would be 550. So then I need to think, where would this number be? Where would 582 go? Is it this side of 550 or is it this side? Well, it's greater than 550, so it's going to go about here. So that shows me visually that 582 is closer to 600. So 582 rounds to 600. Okay, I can also use my keys to success and my rounding rules. So if we look at the tens digit, it's 8. If the tens digit is an 8, we round up to the next multiple of 100, so it would round up to 600. Okay, let's have a look at another one. We've got 675 now. I'm going to do it on the number line, and I'm going to follow the rule as well. So let's do it the other way around this time. Let's use our keys to success first. So we're looking for the tens digit, which is the 7. Now, if the tens digit is a 7, we round up to the next multiple of 100. So let's work out what that would be. We've got 600 in the number. That's the easiest one to work out because it's always the multiple that's in the number that we're thinking about. And if I was counting on another 100, I would get to 700. So 675 rounds up to the next multiple of 100, which is 700. And it's really fiddly to write with this pen. 700. Okay, let's prove that on my number line now. So here's halfway with 650. And then 675 is going to be about here. So you can see visually it's much closer to the 700. Use those rounding lines in the scaffold if you need them today. Okay, here's some fluency for you to have a go at. So if you need those rounding frames, just like yesterday, so this first one here, we're thinking about 500 or 600. And where would that 572 go on that frame? So pause the video, have a go at each of those questions and then come back to me when you're done. Okay, on the screen now you can see the answers to each of those questions. 572 would round to 600. 365 would round to 400. 867 would round to 900. 343 would round down to 300, and 431 would round to 400. Give yourself a tick for each one you got correct. Okay, so I've got a problem to solve now. I've rounded a number to the nearest 100 and the answer was 400. What number could I have rounded? So we've got to work out which number I might have started with. There are lots and lots and lots of possible different answers with this question. So to help me out, I'm going to think about the smallest number that might round to 400. And if I think I'm going to be going into my 300s, and I know that anything with a tens digit that is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 would round to the next multiple. So 350 would be the smallest number. So because it's got 5 tens, that would round up. So anything between 350 and I'm now thinking of the number in the 400s that I could go as my biggest number that would round down. So 400, I know it's got to have 4 tens to make it round down. And the biggest ones digit I can think of is 9. So 449. So anything between those numbers would round to 400. You might want to rewind to this question in a moment when we see our problem solving. Okay, so which numbers could round to 200? That's really similar to that question we've just talked about. Pause the video, have a go at each of those questions and then come back to me for the answers. Okay, so which numbers could round to 200? So any number between 150 and 249 would be correct. Which number am I thinking of? One of the digits is a 9. It rounds to 400 and rounded to the nearest 100. So 390, it's all about that tens number, remember? And then 400, 409, 419, 429, 439 or 449 would also round down to 400. Bob's flour is 675 grams. Round this amount to the nearest 100, so the answer is 700. Round 327 to the nearest 100, so it's written in words, and the answer would be 300, or then there's 300 in words. Okay. Another problem for you here. I've got some numbers that are represented in different ways. You're going to decide which multiple of 100 these numbers would round to. Pause the video, have a go at those, and then come back to me when you are ready. Okay, so on the board now, you can see the answers to each of those. So here we had 210, 11, 12, 13. So looking at my tens digit is a 1, it rounds down to 200. 712, my tens digit is also a 1, so it rounds to 700. And then here, I haven't got any tens digits, so 405 would also round down to 400. Okay, so here I have got some different numbers to choose from, and you're going to circle the numbers that round to 300 to the nearest 10. So have a look at each of those. which ones round to 300? Pause the video, just make a note of them on your piece of paper and then I'll show the answers. So here are the numbers that round to 300. So 279, 271, 250, and I've missed one. So which one could it be? Well, it can't be 359 because that would round up to the next 100. 350, 5 tens, so it would round up. 341 would also round to 300. Remember to look for the numbers that are bigger as well, not just the numbers and think about rounding up. Look for ones that might round down. Okay, now we've got a word problem. There are 400 children in a school to the nearest 100. What is the least number of children in the school and what is the greatest number of children? And that again is really similar to that first problem that we had. So looking at the tens numbers, find the least and the greatest. So to give you a clue, this number here is going to begin with a 3. This number here will begin with a 4. Have a go at that and then come back to me for the answer. So the least number of children would be 350 and the most number of children would be 449. As soon as we go over 449, we get to 450, that would round up to 500. Well done if you got that correct. Okay, here's our reasoning for today. So Annie is thinking of a number. My number rounds to 300, to the nearest 10 and to the nearest 100. So if we were thinking about yesterday's learning and today's learning and combining the two, both times it would round to 300. What number could Annie be thinking of? Pause the video and see what numbers you can come up with. And then come back to me when you've got the answer. There is a stretch challenge there as well. Is there only one number that Annie could be thinking of? So which number would round to 300 if we're rounding to the nearest 10 and 100? And is there only one number that Annie could be thinking of? Pause the video and pop back to me when you're ready. Okay, so here's my answer here. It's a long answer today. So Annie could have been thinking of any number between 295 and 304. All of these would round to 300 because 9 tens would round to 300 and 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 rounds up. So thinking about there would be 9 tens in 295, 296, 97, 98, 99. Also, there are 0 tens in 301, 302, 303, 304, so they would also round down. 305, though, remember, would round up to 310, and that's why I've got to stop at 304. So well done if you were on the right tracks there. You might just have thought of a possible number. I've gone on to explain it as well. Okay, Stretch Challenge today is uploaded into Teams along with the answers as usual. 2 different questions there. Okay, so today we were rounding 3-digit numbers to the nearest 100. We needed to look at the tens digit and then follow the rounding rule that if that number is a 1, 2, 3 or 4, we round down, and if that was a 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, we round up. Hopefully you've marked your own work as you have gone through. As usual, if you need any extra help or you want to talk about anything, just join us in one of the live sessions or drop me an email and we can go through it together. And then tomorrow we're going to be learning about recognising Roman numerals to 50. See you tomorrow, Year 4. Bye.